Hello, welcome. Good evening, everyone. I'm Pek, and I'm truly honored to be here as substitute
Recording in progress.
with all of you tonight. I have been a proud member of IDD social media team, also known as Change Before Climate Changes, where we work together to drum the impact of climate crisis and make an impact. Also, thank you for taking time to join us today. Even though we are meeting through screens, we have come together for an important purpose to share ideas, experiences, and hopes that can make a real difference in the fight against the climate crisis. I'm really excited to be moderating this session. IDD, funded by Aynen Jamba, is a non-governmental organization committed to addressing the climate crisis and making a positive impact. We are a growing global community with more than 56 countries represented, united by the missions of creating a substantial future for all. Our efforts focus on raising awareness, advocating political change, and inspiring action through various initiatives that include collaboration with local organizations, climate education programs, and community-driven projects. As we wait for the rest of our guests to join, I want to express my sincere gratitude to each of you for being here and for your commitment to this important cause. Your presence tonight is a testament to the collective power we have to create meaningful change. COP29 is a key moment for global climate action, but let's not forget big changes, often smart for a small conversation like this. Something you share today might spark an idea in someone's mind, and that's how progress begins. Once again, welcome and thank you for joining us. We will be starting short, but Daphne is the main moderator. We'll listen to her now.
Thank you, Ipek, for your speech. Hello and welcome. Good evening. I'm Daphne. I'm one of the members of our team project and campaign. Over the past year, I've been volunteering in this organization. And since Ipek have already explained our aim and our purpose, I will not be digging deeply into our objectives in this organization. But I want to talk about one of our initiatives, one of our recent initiatives, our book. It's called Change Before Climate Change, and it's about taking individual actions both nationally and globally, and it's about making differences and combating climate change and try to make sustainable living more common and try to raise awareness about that topic. And tonight we are here with all of you in order to talk and review about COP29. Thank you all in advance for your engagement and for your time. So without further ado, I think we can, I can give the floor to our guests, starting with Ikani, Israel.
Thank you.
Sorry, I remind. Every speakers have 10 minutes to talk. If you have a question, you should ask whatever you want. End of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and it's a great opportunity to be here. Ikane Israel, a youth delegate at 429, representing my prestigious and wonderful country, Nigeria, in COP29. So my major focus was on the new collective goals on climate finance, but actually, I was very disappointed with the outcome of the new collective goals on climate finance due to the $1.3 trillion we were requesting for. But actually, many people have put trust on them, but actually the outcome was very disappointing when we heard about the 300 billion being pushed forward as the climate finance for the year. I am very sorry I can't open the camera due to where I am is very now lousy. I just have to create time to ensure that I attend this wonderful webinar and instrumental webinar. So continue the conversation. Many young people, especially from the global south, we were very we were disappointed. It is a sign of betrayal to young people because actually the global north leaders has actually did something that is not proper in the right way, because what we are pushing forward was $1.3 trillion dollars in the climate finance, but actually saying the 300 billion pushing forward $300 billion as the climate finance is very, very disappointing. Code 28 has been a wonderful COP because of the operationalization of the loss and damage fund. But this COP 29 supposed is the COP 29 slogan is what climate, it is climate finance, you understand? But actually it doesn't reflect what COP 29 is all about. $300 billion cannot actually solve the problem in global south, because so many places in the global south has been devastated. We are the global south. We have been hit by climate change. We all know that climate change is affects everyone, and it has been the greatest effect to young people, not just only young people, to everyone and every sectors in the government are being affected by climate change. So, being my major focus was actually on that movement, on that $1.3 trillion in fund on climate finance. My focus on was actually on that, but seeing those that disappointing moment was very, very devastated, and we look forward for COP 30 to actually bring forward to actually bring push forward a greater amount for everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kenny. We appreciate your speech. It was very educative, and it was very fruitful. Your comments were really valuable for us. Now we'll continue with Anum Farooq. If you're here, we would like to hear your voice.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation. Could I just share my screen? Okay, I've got this. Brilliant. Fantastic. Could you let me know if you can see the PowerPoint?
Yes, we can. Absolutely, go on.
Fantastic. So I'd be looking at bridging the gap between sustainability, education for all, and looking at reviewing insights from attendance at Teachers COP 29 and insights from Heal Earth. So I'm just getting an echo, I think. Hello? Okay, great. Sustainability education is really important for us to enable the next generation of youth climate advocates. It needs to start from the classroom. We need to start building those habits early. So teaching ecological integrity, economic viability, and social equity are all parts of the fabric that form this path forward. It empowers our youth advocates in encouraging proactive measures for sustainable future. And there's actually a global need for urgent integration of sustainability and climate education systems. Even within the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals related to education, for instance, Goal 4, ensuring inclusive and equitable equality education and promoting lifelong learning opportunities for all, as well as Goal 13, taking urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts, as well as Goal 17, when we're looking at strengthening the means of implementation. Now, in regards to the sustainability education, there's actually a gap between children that are on the autism spectrum, for instance, and their access to sustainability education as well, which is something that I will be coming on to. So looking at the overview of the Teachers COP 29, it's an initiative by the Office of Climate Education, and it serves as a really significant platform for educators around the world to unite and discuss climate change education. It connects them globally and is held during COP29 with simultaneous translation. This event has brought teachers from diverse backgrounds to highlight the essential role education plays in addressing climate change. And we attended as representative of Heal Earth and sort of inclusive sustainable education. Because of the simultaneous translation in multiple languages, it makes it linguistically inclusive space where educators can share their experiences and best practices. And there are also opportunities for educators to showcase their innovative climate education projects, as well as there being a vote for initiatives that policymakers consider or that will go on to the next stage. This sort of collaboration not only strengthens our collective voice in the education sector, but also underlines a commitment to making climate education a fundamental aspect of learning in schools globally. In terms of the key themes from Teachers COP29, interconnectedness of issues, climate change, social justice, and economic stability are deeply interconnected. Education systems must reflect these connections by fostering a holistic understanding of the challenges that we face. This means integrating topics such as biodiversity, renewable energy, and community resilience into curricula, something that Heal Earth is working on, allowing students to see the bigger picture, but also raising the stance that students from rural backgrounds or students that are facing socioeconomic challenges should not be excluded, but rather there should be more support for them to be included in these discussions. Diverse voices, so in the inclusion of indigenous knowledge and local practices is very important. Recognizing and valuing diverse perspectives enriches sustainability education, and by incorporating various cultural viewpoints, we can create a more comprehensive understanding of environmental stewardship and its significance. Innovative approaches is also very important, and the Teachers COP29, many countries, many educators from around the world showcase innovative projects integrating sustainability into classrooms, such as experiential learning opportunities, community engagement initiatives, and the use of technology in education. These approaches not only engage students, but also empower them to take action in their communities. Collaboration, partnerships between governments, NGOs, and educational institutions are vital for effective sustainability educations. Collaborative efforts sort of enhance resource sharing and create this comprehensive educational framework that supports teachers and students alike. One thing to note, though, is that education is always evolving. It's always sort of being updated, evolving, same as when we have the climate change conversations, you know. It's an ongoing process, and that's something to keep in mind. I'm on the autism spectrum, and I've taught children on the autism spectrum. So as an educator, that allows me to have a unique perspective on sustainability education. And that's why I've set up Heal Earth, to bridge the mainstream education gap with specialized approaches. And our main role at Heal Earth is to provide resources that support both educators and students, ensuring that sustainability education is accessible to everybody. And I witnessed firsthand how tailored education strategies can significantly enhance building those eco-literacy habits. For instance, at Heal Earth, we have sustainable storytelling. We're working on an app as well. And also we're looking at youth eco-entrepreneurship. So if anybody's interested, we'll have our email address at the end. Please get in touch with us. We're very happy to work with governments, NGOs, private and public sector as well. And looking at the inclusion aspect when it comes to related to the COP29 education aspect, empowering the next generation, you know, fostering eco-literacy and youth empowerment, looking at comprehensive resources, interactive curricula with hands-on activities. We have climate education modules that can be segmented, that can be slotted on throughout the year, as well as specialized learning for students with autism that also builds their functional skills and allows them to take part, because the viewpoint that we have is that everybody should be included in the climate education narrative. intergenerationally, because as we move forward, as trends and patterns evolve, this is a responsibility for everybody. It's all our planet. So we sort of look at inclusive streams that ensure that everybody, regardless of ability or disability, is included. The Teachers COP emphasizes the power of community and collaboration, and by participating in this international event, we build partnerships and share best practices that can inspire educators. We look at it as a collective challenge, because climate change is a collective challenge requiring collaborative solutions, such as this webinar that we have today as well. You know, where we have the local community, we have the global community and the regional community all coming together to review, to look at the next steps, to sort of add our inputs and work together. So climate change requires us to all work together. And in terms of Feel Earth, we strive to create a supportive ecosystem that provides support for educators, values children's voice, gives a platform to the youth, as well as sort of building blocks together to reinforcing our individual and our collective sense of agency and responsibility towards the planet, towards its population, and towards each other in communities. If we look at more economically developed countries when it comes to climate change, or less economically developed countries, there are excellent practices in both, and there are vulnerable communities in both countries. So again, it's kind of addressing those accessibility and inclusion challenges to ensure that everybody's on board to address this. So as we move forward, I urge all educators, young people, children, students to embrace sustainability education and think about the eco habits that we're building, creating these inclusive environments that welcome diverse perspectives, as well as valuing indigenous local insights in terms of how to manage the environment, as well as the policymakers to think about these collaborative and comprehensive insights from various members of the community. So in conclusion, in terms of a review, our experience at the Teachers COP reinforced the notion that sustainability education is imperative, must be inclusive and accessible to all students. And by fostering a culture of environmental stewardship and collaboration, we can empower every child to become an advocate for our planet, and let us all work together to create an educational framework that not only informs but inspires action towards a sustainable future. And we very much believe that at HELA. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your commitment to this vital cause.
Thank you, Hanum, for your inclusive approach to this issue. We really appreciate it. And it was quite informative. Now, we would like to hear Gokul Rohendran's voice. And by the way, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name and surname.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Try to share my screen. It's not so working properly, I think so. Can you sorry for the delay. My screen is stuck, I think. Can you see my screen? Hello?
Yes, we are, yeah.
Can you see my screen, but it's stuck, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but maybe I'll stop the screen sharing thing, and I'll just explain. That will be better. Okay. I just have 10 minutes here, so I'll just make it faster and quick as possible. So, hi guys, I'm Gokul from India, and yeah, I've been to COP this year as part of Ukraine's delegations, and yeah, I'm working on climate and health part, which is like the medicine and like the doctor side of how important biodiversity, climate, and everything links up. So maybe I'll review that part for you guys to learn more about how the aspects of uh, climate change is being affected over there, like on that basis. Uh, Great. Okay, now it started working my screen. So the first thing is like more. I don't know why my today it's like this. It's happening like this. So yeah. So main aspect is like the climate and health thing, that the rising temperature and the rising temperature. Uh, Sorry guys. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, we can. Please go on.
Okay, so health is the argument for climate action. Basically, that is the main thing, main goal, main logo that what WHO was saying that thing in the COP venues and in the events. So, climate change and health is like most like what one thing is like rising of temperature, extreme weather events, air pollution, most of the things that of environment affect the health of the people. So mostly that is something really alarming, and we as health working group and health team, we're trying to push forward for that. And even WHO has a framework for the health is the argument for climate action. You guys can just go out and search in the YouTube, in the Google, so that you can find that information about how the WHO is working with various stakeholders to enhance the universal health coverage, make the system more sustainable health systems. So in that part, we as I'm an Ayurvedic student, like studying traditional medicine back in India. So that's the main focus area for me to make the health system which is low in carbon emission, that what our local indigenous traditional medicine represents. And also because of climate change, most of our medicines like Ayurvedic medicine, traditional medicine, indigenous medicine are being affected, and that's also slowly being going away, like fading away from our nature because of the biodiversity loss and our the other things. And the other thing that I would like to highlight is this one, uh, is the antimicrobial resistance. That antimicrobial resistance, that is like people due to uh, climate change issues, like what to say, like uh, because of climate change, these people are being affected by more of this environmental issues, and that's leading to people to consume more of the drugs, which is like antimicrobial, and that is leading towards resistance of this thing, microbes, that is causing more antimicrobial resistance. That is something which is alarming because it's affecting the planetary health, one planetary health, like the planet, people, and the animals nature. There's an equilibrium between all that, so that is being affected. And this is the main agenda of having climate and health together in one space, so that our health is like a non-negotiable thing, that we cannot negotiate on behalf of like fossil fuels or um, emissions and stuff, because it's something like there's like not a quantitative, like we cannot see how the effects of health is on a monetary basis. That is the main issue of health. We cannot find that. So that is the one thing. And so that's the one thing I would like to key item to highlight. Then also we can go towards the other important thing, that as an indigenous person from indigenous and traditional medicine field, I would like to highlight is the action plan for 5-year action plan for development of mountain regions by the Kyrgyzstan ministry. So they are like it's like a high altitude ecosystem, like Kyrgyzstan areas undergo stress due to climate change, and the community over there, agriculture, herding, medicinal plant resources over there, which all are increasingly being impacted by this climate pattern changes. I have been to Kyrgyzstan for the Arco Central Asia as a speaker over there. So we have seen the effects, like the plants which are more green, slowly climbing forward towards the more colder areas, because now it's not so much cold right now because of the climate change that's happening, that those regions are not getting that much ice. Temperature difference is being showing over. And yeah, this is being affecting the country as well. So they are pushing forward for sustainable advocacy for management, indigenous knowledge integration, and international cooperation for the protection of the mountain. And they're partnering with like Nepal, like all the mountain countries on this action plan. So yeah, it's like the protecting the ocean, now protecting the mountain region, like that. So mostly there's a like loss of biodiversity in the mountains as well because of this, uh, because of the mountain. There was one of the species like snow leopards that were going extinct because of these kinds of actions. So there's like countries like Bhutan, China, India, Mongolia, Nepal, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan to be part of this agenda, and they are pushing forward for these plans. So that was one of the things I would like to highlight here as a health perspective for indigenous and traditional medicine as well. And furthermore, something would I would like to say that is which was really important at COP was the WHO's attached agreement that they signed. I wanted to show that paper with you guys, but I don't know why I can't share my screens. So yeah, it was signed between Azerbaijan Ministry and Tedros, WHO's General Secretary, in an event. It's aimed for what the acronym, sorry, Action for Climate. Sorry, it was like Action for climate change adaptation, something like that. So it was signed between Azerbaijan Ministry and also WHO so that they push forward. Yeah, I got that this one, Alliance for Transformative Action on Climate and Health. So yeah, it's hosted by the WHO's other countries as well. So in COP 26, it started, they built on this, and COP 27, they signed the UAE, COP 27, Egypt joined in, and COP 28, COP 29, Dubai, and now Azerbaijan is part of that treaty as well. So they are pushing forward for building climate resilience and low carbon sustainable health system. So to advance health promoting climate action by the sectors. So that's the main goal of WHO's attach, ATACH. You guys can search it out. So that two important things that what's happening on the venue of COP. And also we, as what I do is like advocate for traditional indigenous medicine integration and also protection of those people who are using that, and also our indigenous people. So we have an app called Govardhan. It's like this world's first ever social media for biodiversity. So we give usernames to plants and animals. So we had a collaboration with the Chad ministry and also the Sri Lankan ministry, and we had conducted events on promoting um, the health and climate as together one factor. So that was like helping us to understand how the people, how the ministries like understand each other, like interlinking of climate and health. Most of the ministries that present over there lack that perspective of interlinking, and that is what we as in UN has been trying to focus on, bridging the gap, because most of these people who are working, they don't want to work with other ministries, some other issues, something. So main gap is like they don't know how to bridge the gaps. So the health ministry doesn't want to work with the environment ministry. So main things that we had faced, and people are like saying, okay, you go to the Ministry of Health, you go to the Ministry of Environment, talk to them, then bring them to us, then we will sit and talk, then we will talk. So it's like an ever-ending loop of things coming like that. But still there is a hope, and we were able to talk out that. And also we had an initiative called Climate Entertainment. So we go to different parts of the world, make movies with youth on ground. So we had a movie made with in Ukraine with the Fridays for Future, Extinction Rebellion, and the UNDP Ukraine supporting us to make a movie of a documentary of how the war is affecting the climate and biodiversity. So, and also health. So I had to go in person in Ukraine. That was a like adventure trip for me, but it was worth it, understanding how the key factors of climate change is affecting the people on ground, and also how mentally they are being affected. So we presented that at COP, and also we went to Kyrgyzstan as well. So I just told you, Asia Pacific, Central Asia, we were there. So with over there also we made small movie, which was not a big thing, but it was a small movie that we could afford for to do doing. So we did that, and also we presented that at Kyrgyzstan Pavilion COP 29 as well. So the ministry was so welcoming for that. So some of the ministries are so welcoming. So create your projects, show it to them, send it to the people. They will be happy to host that, showcase youth. So this is your opportunity as a youth to be out there, showcasing your projects, showcasing how things can change. change. So as Helkoi Pakistan, we know Sher Shah, hi Sher Shah bro. So we're trying to make a movie in Pakistan as well. And also IDD is also one of our supporting partners in Turkey for making the movie, but we are on the talks, I think. So still working on making more movies with youth on ground. So if you guys are out there, if you guys wanted to connect, then you're more than welcome to join us and also support with your projects. You guys can reach out to me as well. So yeah, I think I have covered the most of the health part, and I think I would like to wrap it up. And yeah, that's it from my side. So health and indigenous traditional medicine. So it's the main aspect. I think I have done my 10 minutes, right? I'm done with my 10 minutes. Thank you so much then.
Thank you for your speech. And before moving to the next speaker, I would like to remind you that in order for you to get your certificates, you have to fill out the form provided in the chat. I guess it's not provided yet, but it will be provided in a minute. And otherwise, like if you're not fill the form, otherwise you won't be able to get your certificate. So. Yes, the form is now provided in the chat.
Okay, thank you so much for listening to me, and I'm giving back to IDD. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your speech once again. Now we would like to move to Samia Dumbuya for her speech. I'm sorry. Now we'd like to head to Shah Khan for his speech. I'm sorry. There was a mistake.
Hi, I hope everyone can hear me and you can also see my slides. It was wonderful to hear from Gokul again. We were together during the COP journey, and even the speaker after me, Fatma, we met there once again, and it was I was thinking how to best tell this story. So the best thing is pictures, because pictures say a lot of words. So I just compiled a few pictures that would go along with the story. So yes, COP29 was held from November 11 to 22nd to 2024 in Baku, in the Baku Stadium. I was a proud representative of Pakistan, where I spent all the days right till the last hour of COP, trying to not just represent of youth across the world, because being part of Youngo and being an Elkoi Pakistan organizer, my main agenda, apart from following all the other themes, was to uplift my fellow Elkoi organizers and try to build up this movement of Elkois through these COP interactions. So yes, here you can see Gokul, right? He was there. And here's my our next speaker, Fatma. We met during COI 19 first. So I also wanted to talk about COIs, because most of us know about COPs, but then we don't know about COI, which is it's important to happen just before every COP, and it's like the biggest global conference of youth. It's usually called Global COI or COI. And this year's COI was called COI 19, just before COP29. Next, so during the COI also, We have like representatives from it was a nice way to exchange ideas with everyone. Then we entered COP29. The venue was really nice. I really liked the way everything was set up. So this is our current younger focal point. At that time, she was not, but this is Vanessa from Brazil. And here we are at the Children and Youth Pavilion, where a lot of what youth stand for happened in the Children and Youth Pavilion. Here again, you can see Gokul here under SDG 13 climate action, but we had a nice representation of young people from all across the world trying to brainstorm solutions for the climate problem, put more pressure on our government delegations and also the UN organs. One of the best thing that we did, and we did this quite a few times, and I just wanted to share this, was that we used to sit on the ground to do meetings, like Majlis style meeting. Let's talk about solutions. And this session was specifically about LCOIs. Here you can see all the LCOI organizers from across process even better. Next. Yes, so this again, some pictures from the Children and Youth Pavilion. A lot of happenings in the Children and Youth Pavilion. Most who visited. So this was one of our workshop from Skillistan. So I have a platform called Skillistan, and we also organized one workshop in the Children and Youth Pavilion. It was called Mastering SDGs. So mainly what we do is do capacity building workshops on SDGs, and we were honored to do one in COP29, 28 as well, even in COP18 in Dubai, and then once again in COP29. Next. Yes, this was my proudest moment. So the Pakistan, secondly, because we had our minister for climate change present in the Pakistan pavilion, who was very much reachable things related to Pakistan. And this session was like organized by me, solely by me, in an emergency, right? Quickly organizing. I just found out that there's a time slot, and I managed to bring in all the stakeholders from Pakistan and made them sit in front of the youth, and so that they could answer the questions of the youth. So this is our minister. I hope my internet is stable. If it gets unstable, just let me know and I'll turn off my video. And this is again the Pakistan pavilion and my team. And I would just end it with one story that I really wanted to share with everyone, was that how close I got to all the negotiations that were happening on the last night when the new collective quantified goals were being decided. The draft text said $250 billion per year. But eventually, after all these huddles and discussions, which went up until 6 a.m. in the morning, all of these hurdles, and eventually what we benefited from all of this was $50 billion more. So the last text agreed said $300 billion, although we expected $1.3 trillion. But this $50 billion increase was possible because of many countries. This is the COP29 president, this is me. Hurdles here, hurdles there, hurdles everywhere. That's how we spent the last night of COP29. Here, another hurdle. So I just wanted to give you an inside view of all these negotiating hurdles. And I would like to end with this nice quote written outside the Brazilian pavilion, which said, "See you at COP30." So I wish everyone who's interested in the climate space, who is aspiring to go to COPs, I wish to see you at COP30 Brazil. With this, I would like to end. Thank you so much, and see you all again. I'll share my LinkedIn. You can all stay connected to me. Bye bye.
Am
Thank
I
you,
allowed to ask any questions?
Questions will be taken at the end of the workshop. Well, thank you, Shah, for your speech. It was very well prepared and inclusive. Thank you. Now we have Fatma. Fatma Allah Verdieva. We're waiting for your speech, Fatma.
Hello, everyone. I hope my voice and view is okay. Okay. First of all, thank you for joining. And if I'm not mistaken, the last speaker tried to give the many information about COP29. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm from Azerbaijan and I am Fatma Allahverdieva. It is a privilege to stand before you today to reflect on COP29, a defining moment in climate diplomacy, and to discuss the crucial role of youth in shaping a more sustainable future. My name is Fatma Allahverdieva and my journey in climate action, diplomacy, and sustainability has taken more from representing Azerbaijan and COP28 in Dubai to actively preparing for COP29 in my home country. As an SDG Guardian, I have worked to educate and empower young people across Azerbaijan on sustainable development goals and climate action. My role as a young European ambassador has allowed me to collaborate with international youth networks, advocate for strong climate policies, and actively contribute to sharing experience and the global sustainability agenda. Throughout this experience, I have come to understand that young people are not just the leaders of tomorrow. We are leaders today. We are not waiting for change. We are creating it. And I want to mention also COP29 was a historic moment, not just for Azerbaijan, but the entire world. As an host nation, Azerbaijan had a unique opportunity and responsibility to lead discussions on critical climate issues. The main focus of the conference was strengthening climate finance to support developing nations and ensure just transitions, accelerating the renewable energy transition to reduce global dependence on fossil fuels, enhancing youth participation in high-level climate negotiation and policymaking.
Interrupt, Fatma. This is your presentation. On which slide do you want to be?
Can you skip? Other place? It's okay. Stretching climate finance to support developing nations and ensure a just transition. Other, accelerating the renewable energy transition to reduce global dependence on fossil fuels and enhancing youth participation in high-level climate negotiations and policymaking. I want to explain these functions. This year, we saw more young people participating than ever before. Youth-led panels, activism, and negotiations proved that our generation is not just asking for the seat at the table, we are taking it. In Azerbaijan, we took great pride in hosting COP29, ensuring that it was not just other conference, but the true catalyst for action. Through workshops, networking events, and formal negotiations, and addressed the urgent need to scale up investment in clean energy, increase climate education, and awareness at local and national levels. Hold corporations and governments accountable for their emissions. But while the conference achieved important milestones, our work is far from over. Can you switch other? Yeah, thank you. One of the most inspiring aspects of COP29 was the strong presence of youth leaders, from grassroots activists to young entrepreneurs and policy advocates. We saw young people challenging outdated systems and proposing real, tangible solutions. So, what did young people bring to the table at COP29? Youth negotiators, delegates, many young leaders were actively involved in high-level negotiations, ensuring that policies reflect the needs and the concerns of future generations. Other innovative solutions. Youth-led projects on sustainable energy, waste reduction, and carbon offset initiatives showcase the power of fresh ideas and innovative thinking. Last one, global cooperation. Global collaboration, youth networks from across the world united to amplify the climate justice movement, proving that international cooperation is key to solving the climate crisis. This was especially important for young people in Azerbaijan, who played a major role in hosting youth events, contributing to discussions, showcasing their environmental initiatives. As an SDG guardian, I have personally witnessed the incredible dedication of Azerbaijan youth, whether through climate education programs, reforestation projects, and renewable energy advocacy. Young people in Azerbaijan are proving that climate action is not just a political issue, it is a personal one. At COP28 in Dubai, I had a chance to network alongside young climate leaders from all over the world. One of the most memorable moments was my participation in I'm Not Plastic Planet, a creative initiative aimed at highlighting the devastating impact of plastic pollution. This experience made me realize that storytelling and creativity can be just powerful as a policymaking when it comes raising awareness. Other holding by the momentum at COP29, I was proud of seeing even more Azerbaijan youth stepping up, contribute to important discussions and leading impactful initiatives. But the biggest question remains, what happens next? While COP29 was a significant step forward, it was only beginning of a much longer journey. COP30, set to be held in Brazil, presents another opportunity to push. And for stronger commitments, great accountability, and more ambitious climate action. So what should we focus on moving forward? Climate finance for youth initiatives. Young people need resources to implement their innovative solutions. It is time for governments and financial institutions to fund youth-led climate projects on a larger scale. Youth representation in policymaking. While youth participation at COP29 was stronger than ever, we will need to increase youth representation in official delegations. Young voice must be included the national climate policy and negotiations, not just inside events. Long-term commitment to climate action. Education. Awareness is key. Schools, universities, and public institutions must integrate climate education into their curriculum to empower future generations with the knowledge and skills to tackle environmental change. Cross-border collaboration. Climate change knows no border. We must continue to strengthen global youth networks to work together on solutions that impact all the region, and commitments. I believe that Azerbaijan's hosting of COP29 has set an example for youth inclusion in climate action. Now we must ensure that this momentum does not stop. Not just once a year at COP, but every single day in our communities, schools, and workplace. I want to why youth must lead the way. At this point, some may ask, why should youth take the lead in climate action? Answer is simple: because our future depends on it. We are generation that will inherit the consequences of today's actions. And we are also the generation that has the power to change the course of history. Young people have the passion, innovation, and resilience to drive meaningful change. We are not afraid to challenge the status quo. We are not afraid to demand accountability. And most importantly, we are not afraid to act. The fight for our planet is not just for world leaders, it is for all of us. Let's take action, let's raise our voice, let's make a difference, because the future is in our hands. To everyone here today, thank you for your time, your passion, and your commitment to our planet. Thank you. If you have any questions. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Fatma, for your speech. It was really amazing and very informative. Now I guess we'll take a photo together. If everyone's ready.
Turn on their cameras. We're gonna take a picture to share.
Okay, so now if you have any questions, please don't hesitate and write down in the chat section.
Hello, am I audible to you people?
Yes, I think yes.
So I have a question to Sher Shah Khan. I want to ask if you people allow me.
Yes, go on. You can ask.
I don't know, my mic got mute. I don't know who mutes it. But the question I want to ask to Sher Shah Khan is that he was a delegate in COP29, and as we all know, that America has recently withdrawn from Paris Agreement. This act obviously affect the climate finance. Here it is worth mentioning that the climate finance is not a blessing but a duty upon the climate carbon emitters. So my question is that in COP39 is coming in the Brazil in the upcoming year. So how can we present our remedy in the COP30 that the vacuum created by America can be filled and the carbon emitters can just provide us a remedy?
Thank you for the question. Sorry for the disturbance. Thank you so much for the question. It was a nice question. And during COP29, I was sitting in the US pavilion, and there were two Democrat senators that came in to spread light on what you were saying. They had already predicted that when Trump comes, he's going to pull out of the Paris Climate Agreement. And so everyone at COP29 was already prepared for what's going to come. And I really liked one of the comments of the senators, as they were both Democratic senators, so they were talking, openly about Donald Trump, and they said that uh, Donald Trump is just going to be a blip in the climate history. So, I mean, it really attracted me because, 4 years, what is 4 years in climate history? If we see, we are planning for 2060, 2100, and so on. And I know it's going to be a challenge, but it's going to be a short term challenge. And during COP29, what I noticed was the rest of the countries, especially Brazil, they were very much interested in this NCQG and what's going to happen in a post Trump world, because they were going to host the next COP. So, this is where they were mainly in the text, even in the last text that was being adopted in the last night. Brazil had put this thing that still leaves room for one, like 300 minimum $300 billion, but up to 1.3 trillion. So this means that they wanted to bring in more of the private sector investments into the climate. And one of the wins of COP29 was the carbon markets, right? That was a win. This is where much of making our forests, what's going to profit us now to have our forests. Now we are not going to cut our forests, rather, their breathing capacity is going to be traded in the carbon markets. So, this is a win of COP29. I hope I've answered somewhat your question. It is going to be a challenge under Donald Trump, but the world is not Donald Trump alone, right?
I have the next question. My name is Simreen Peters.
The question for other speakers.
May I ask the question now?
I think before taking further questions, you can follow us on Instagram now. It's provided in the chat. It's just a disclaimer. Yeah. And also, I'm sorry to interrupt. You can, in order to take your certificates, you can fill the form provided in the chat. Otherwise, you won't be able to get it. Yeah, you can now ask if you want.
All right. Thank you so much. My name is Simreen Peters. I'm from Pakistan. And, I just graduated with a master's degree from Liverpool John Moores University in international relations. And my dissertation was on impact of climate change on human security in Pakistan. Now, I have two questions. First question is that I live in a city which was called the London of Pakistan, Islamabad. It was full of greenery. People admired the scenery and the nature. I was born in 1983, but now it's 2025, and my city has been turned into a commercial city where so many roads and plazas and things are being built. All the trees are being cut, so much so that this year there were no rains in Islamabad. Believe me, from November till now, there have been no rains. And, our health is suffering. My mother got sick. I am sick because of that. So we say that, UNESCO basically advocates educating people, educating children. Like some of the presenters have told us that, it's very important to have inclusive education system where we teach our people about climate change. But what about, how can we as citizens stop this kind of construction where the trees are being cut? Because all of us are basically interested in climate, and as environmentalists we know that the whole nature is being controlled by trees. trees which have been created by God. How can we stop this kind of commercialization of our city? We keep on asking America and the Western countries and all of those major GHG emitters of the world for money, but why don't we take any action? How can we convince our government or whoever is responsible, private or whatever, to stop this hazardous situation? Because Islamabad, I'm so sorry to say, has just converted into an industrial city. Secondly, I have been an educator, and I just want to ask, how can I are there any resources, or how can I incorporate some kind of activities, cross curricular activities, to teach my kids about climate change? And how can I make them become serious? The parents are not serious. They just learn about climate action, they just learn about climate change, they take they make certain proposals, they promise to act on it, but it's not happening in reality. It seems as if it's just it's just a myth, and I believe that this is the situation in every country of the world. So first question, with regards to the first question, we keep on blaming the Western countries and the major GHG emitters, US being one of them. But why are we doing this to our own cities and our own state? How can we convince the people responsible for this to stop these actions? Because they say economic growth has to be there. Yes, it has to be there, but why is it essential to turn a green city into a barren land? Thank you so much. And secondly, please, the administrators, this is the first time I'm using Zoom, so I think I'm signed in with my email, but please mark my attendance. I will fill out the participation form, but just to clear it, my name is Samreen Peters, and this is the name that I've registered with. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I guess that question was for me. So I'll go forward in answering it. If my internet connection is unstable, just let me know. Thank you, Samreen, for that long, detailed, precise question. So just to let you know, there are a lot of platforms, even in Pakistan, more specifically in Islamabad, that are working towards collective action, the one you were referring to, right? Me as an individual, yes, I can also do something, but then me in a collective position, if you are with me, if the rest of the youngsters are with me, so then our voice becomes even stronger. So something that I would advise you to be doing. So I would advise you to join some volunteering platform, and there are a lot of them in Pakistan, in Islamabad. Some of the members say, for example, we have NYCC over here. Kamar is from that organization. For example, there's my platform, Skillistan, there's PCF, there is CFP. There's so many youth-led platforms in Islamabad where you can contribute and further your causes. And second question was about curriculum, right? So we have been trying to fill the gap for, especially for children. So one of the things that I have been personally working on is trying to make modules for SDGs for kids. So that would really bridge the gap of education. Otherwise, the government has do such a thing. They have to bring in into the primary, secondary, and tertiary curriculums everything about climate under SDG 13's third target. 13.3 talks about SDGs apply to everyone equally. We have to bring climate related education into our curriculum. I hope this answers me, and we can help you find things to do for the causes you care about.
Thank you so much. Just wanted to ask, will the recording be shared with us? Will it be emailed to us, the recording?
Yes, maybe the moderators can talk about it, but I hope yes.
I would like to add one more thing. It's
Yes,
like
it will be
you're
shared.
asking. It's like the thing you're asking is like the same situation for everyone. Yeah, it's like the people are trying to find a win-win situation for everyone. So that's the main issue. The moderators want other countries to pay, so they don't like, okay, we will negotiate more, and bring some money into our economy so that the country gets its boost and developments goes up as well. So that's the one thing, that's the issue that is like creeping all these climate action things. I think mostly affecting the win-win situation. Every country want to get their country to a top level. So that is the main thing. And using a fossil fuel is like it's like so fast and easier for them to use it to develop their country. So why should they not use that? So that is the situation that we want to like to change or make an impact with the youth ideas, green energies, and other stuff that we could like do. It's not it's easy to just to transit, and it takes a lot of negotiation, a lot of like like restrictions for the those people who has huge money from the fossil fuel industries and everything. They're not easy to like take down unless with just a government's order or something. So it takes a lot of time, innovative ideas and stuff. So that's the main issue. We want everyone to win, but if everyone wins, the nature will lose. Something like that. Thank you. Thanks so much for the question, and thanks for IDD for making this event happen as well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for your contributions again. And also, if there are any further questions, please don't hesitate and ask, because we still have some minutes.
Greeting colleagues. My name is Lindile, but simply known as Lindy Shozi, and I am from South Africa. To anyone who can answer, but also a bit directed to Fatma, in relations to I represent the youth within my local government. I'm a climate justice coordinator. So my first question is, maybe I didn't pick it up during the conversations, but how did COP29 address issues of climate justice, particularly for the youth, vulnerable communities, and communities that are usually marginalized, especially in underdeveloped or developing countries? And also, I just want to ask that as the we had a lot of submissions in terms of wanting our voices to be heard, wanting for our contributions to be taken into account, shared, and the promises in terms of actioning possible best options in a practical sense that can also be applied at a local scale, not only globally, but it's also can be applied locally and to grassroots level. Thank you.
Okay, so if there is any question, you can simply ask.
Will the recording be shared?
Yes, it will be shared through your Gmail.
Good evening. I don't have questions. I just wanted to thank all of you and for such a perfect meeting.
Okay.
I also I'm from Azerbaijan, Dunay Mahmudova, by the way, and I also participated at COP29 as a volunteer and as a UNFPA Azerbaijan organization representative. And I would like to say that it was really perfect experience, and I am happy that I had my own contribution and my help, support in the combat, in the process of combat against the climate change. Thanks to all of you again, and a bunch of thanks to organizers of this meeting.
Thank you for your participation and engagement. So if there's if there's any question, you can ask now.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
I have a question from Shersha Khan, Bangash. Shersha Khan, everyone talking about the industrial zone of climate change. They play a role in the industrialization. No one mentioned about the military. That they are also play a role in disturbing the climate change and disturbing the world climate, and they are also playing a great role in the climate disturbance, and like they are using military equipments which are dangerous for the nature and for the climate. So what do you think, is there any role of military in disturbing the world climate?
Yes, thank you, Misbah. That is a technical question, but yes, the military industrial complex is also responsible for emissions, because a lot of what we say as weapons, or the equipment of war, they also consume a lot of energy. Say, for example, when you are bombarding a lot of the war zones, many trees are destroyed, lands are degraded. If, for example, tanks go on a land and so on, where there is a military no-go zone area, and just because people don't go there, so the natural military complex also has a negative implication on our climate, because they are also producing a lot of emissions. I hope this answers your question.
Thank you.
So, any questions?
Mr. Shesha Khan Pangash, how can we join your organization? Can you share your LinkedIn link as well? And how can we join your organization that you're a part of? Thank you so much for your kind response.
Thank you. So I just shared my LinkedIn URL earlier. You can find me as Sher Shah Khan on LinkedIn, and you can also find Skillistan. As you can see, this is the logo. You can find this on LinkedIn, and anyone is welcome to join our volunteering platform, as well as our fellowship, which dives deep into the SDGs.
So we still have time. So we're waiting for your questions. I think someone's raising hand. You can feel free to ask your question.
I'm so sorry, Sir Shesha Khan. I can't find your link. Can you please post it again? Thank you so much. So sorry.
Okay, it's in the last, just after my message, the chat has been locked, so you can find it. If not, just find me on a LinkedIn search. By the way, the person who has raised their hand, their mic is open, but we can't hear. So maybe the mic is not working. Maybe you can write, but we have the chat disabled, so we cannot hear you, John Paul.
Hello,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yes, I'm Jean Paul from Congo, Republic of Congo in North Kivu. I'm Jean Paul, like is written on my computer. I wanted to ask maybe one question about COP29 that was held in Baku, Azerbaijan, because I have been there. I have been there for 2 weeks, but I wanted to know about LICO, and then how we can join this organization called IDED, because I wanted to push in DRC with the young like you guys, so that we can push some things about climate change and yes, climate change and peace. All that things can be good to do. Thank you.
I would like to add one more thing to everyone as well. So the youth over here also joined the Yango thing that Shersha mentioned. It's like it's an open place for every youth to work with the UNFCCC. Like it's the official youth group for the UNFCCC itself. It's a youth constituency, officially part of UNFCCC. So they have a lot of opportunity to engage with a lot of other like UN official events as well, to speak from speaking opportunity, traveling opportunity, and everything. So it'll be nice to be part of that Yango as well. So just mention that. You can just search and look for Yango. Yeah. Thank you. That's right.
Yeah, please ask questions and don't hesitate, because someone's raising their hand right now.
Yeah. Well, I am Saeed Anjum Zaid from Pakistan. My question, not coming from first, just I'll say thank you for this platform, because hit lot need of these type of activities. All the presentation were very valuable talks, like Shersha brothers, very fabulous, because Skillistan platform is providing us a type of activity and a source. So I'll appreciate. And second one is the one presenter was healing her earth, I think. So she was talking about autistic children or some sort of. So I want to collaborate that for the future aspect. So please, she was hearing me. Then she shared her LinkedIn profile. Thank you, IDD.
Thank you, Sayed Anjum. So there was an earlier question. I hope someone from the moderators, maybe Aidan, you can explain to everyone how to join IDD.
You can visit our Instagram account and all the information is provided in here. So yeah, it's in the chat also. It's provided in the chat as well. Okay, so if there aren't any questions, I think we can slightly wrap up. Thank you all for your participation and engagement. We truly appreciate speakers, special speakers' time and sharing their vulnerable opinions about COP29. It was an honor.
There's a question in the chat. There's a question in the chat box by Syed Hasnatur Rahman.
Yeah, I see the question. Can I quickly answer it? Maybe then we can wrap up.
Sure.
Let's leave no one behind. So the question is really nice too. How will the outcomes of COP29 be implemented, and what are the next steps for countries to take in addressing the climate change? So basically, COP29 or any COP is a multilateral conference. So this means that all countries come together to do an agreement. And all the COP29 agreements under various sub themes were kind of adopted by all countries because they are working under the UNFCCC systems. Now, these countries go back after COP, they implemented, some do, some don't, right? And the NDCs are basically also the trackers. That NDC 3.0 this year, they have to be submitted. Even the national adaptation plans in countries. And then between two COPs, there happens an SP, which is called the subsidiary body, and it happens in Bonn, Germany every year in June. So this is where they review whether the previous COPs things have been implemented or not, and what would be the agenda of the next COP. So between every two COPs, there is a very important SB or subsidiary body that happens in Germany. If we get lucky, maybe we also go to the subsidiary bodies. But this is how the climate governance system works. Every year we have a COP. Every mid-year we have SBs, and then there is the NDC submissions and the national adaptation plans, and definitely your own countries check as well whether the climate agreements are being implemented or not. The voices of the youth, for example, all of us putting pressure on the implementers also works a lot. I hope this answers your question. Back to the organizers. Thank you.
Thank you for the response. So if I think there ain't any questions left, if I'm not mistaken. So have a nice rest of your day. I guess it's time to finish the workshop. And also please fill out the forms provided in the chat again as a disclaimer. Yeah, so good evening.
Thank you so much, especially Sir Shersha Khan Bangash. I look forward to joining your organization. Thank you so much for your detailed and kind response. And another sir from India, I forgot his name, but thank you so much.
Thank you for your contribution.